I wrote Biden off. I thought he was gone. I was the mock, obviously, because he's back in the running. And he's not only back in the running, he's the front runner. And, of course, it's now either him or Bernie. We've got Michigan on Wednesday, our time, Scott. What's your sense of where this is going right now?
Oh, look, I think everyone's obviously extraordinary to see Biden on Super Tuesday. I think people who have followed this for many, many years have said that they've never seen such an extraordinary comeback. So I don't think you're completely wrong to write him off. I think a lot of people had written off Biden, but there's a bit of Joe-mentum now, and he will get through. I think all the metrics are saying it's now going to be Biden rather than Sanders. It's going to be very hard for Sanders to come back. And if he doesn't have a good performance with Michigan and a few other states on Tuesday, Wednesday, our time, I think it's all over for him. The question is, will he continue in the race? But today we saw Kamala Harris, a former Democrat candidate, backing Biden. Jesse Jackson came out and backed Sanders today. But I don't think it's going to necessarily help Sanders in the next couple of days.
Damien, your thoughts on Biden compared to Sanders, and which one do you think will present the greatest threat to Donald Trump?
Biden v Sanders is no contest for me, but I'm a centre-right, conservative free market thinker, if you like. Biden represents a much more considered choice for many of those who are not quite ready to hit the eject button and go to full-blown radical socialism and all the rest of it. So I think if in that two-horse race, Joe will have the Joe-mentum, as Scott says. I don't think the West is ready for Bernie Sanders to take the reins. Having all this play out in public is fascinating, though, as someone with a passing interest in these things. The US political stuff is fascinating at this time of the cycle. To see all the dirty laundry coming out and the horrific attacks that they're launching against each other in public view is quite extraordinary. And we get to the end where we have a 78-year-old bloke basically doddering up to the line to take on Donald Trump, who was already the oldest US president in history.
Yeah.
It now looks like the spring chicken ready to smash the opposition. So. Look, it's been fascinating, but I really, as far as, he is their best bet, but I don't think they've got a hope.
Scott, why is Biden a better bet for the Democrats, or certainly more palatable when it comes to trying to beat Trump?
Oh, look, because I think that a lot of people who are angry with Trump or just have unease about Trump don't want to go to the other extreme. And that's what Sanders delivers. The extreme, the democratic socialist out there, it's more of that kind of angry man out there doing things. They're looking for a return almost to moderate government, and that's what Biden brings. He's a moderate. He's not radical. He'll re-establish the institutions of America. That's what I think they're looking for. And on every head-to-head battle you see, on every poll, you see that Biden is coming out ahead of Trump. Now, having said that, we haven't seen the blowtorch fully put on Biden by Trump. And clearly that is something that Trump does incredibly well, is attack and dismantle his opponents. And so, they're going for the younger bloke. Biden, who's only 77 compared to Sanders, who's 78. But if he gets to June and gets the Democratic nomination, then we'll see full Trump onto Biden.
Damien, it'll be interesting to see what Trump does, if in fact the nominee is Biden, how much he brings in the Ukrainian scandal. Which, of course, dogged Biden and sort of took some momentum out of those early days. And he's been Scott's right. Trump is, when he applies the blowtorch, he goes in hard. He really doesn't give a stuff, does he?
He doesn't. And, love him or hate him, he's unvarnished and pretty brutal and upfront. So we'll see what happens. I'm not sure whether the Biden-Ukraine stuff was probably damaging to both of them, to be honest. I think Trump lost a few friends through that scandal as well. But as you say, we will see him turn all of the barrels of all the cannons on Joe if he prevails here. And I don't think Joe's got a hope as far as that goes. I think the runs on the board, I think Trump needs only to look at the scoreboard and show the people his results. That magic wand that Barack Obama said that nobody had to make the jobs come back. We've seen all those key statistical sort of measures absolutely being blitzed by the Trump administration.
It's interesting that Obama hasn't come out and backed Biden yet, because of course Biden was his long-term vice president. Whether he will or not is another matter. I see Hillary Clinton came out recently and said that she actually thought she would give Sanders her imprimatur if in fact he became the nominee. It'll be interesting to see what happens in Michigan. How important is Michigan?
Oh, look, I think it's important. This is really Biden's chance on Wednesday, our time, to try to get back in the race. If it's another loss, like we saw and what happened out of Super Tuesday continues on for Joe Biden, I think that'll just be another nail in the coffin of Sanders' challenge to be president. In terms of Hillary, she might have said that she'd back Sanders. The reality is she had a lot of bitterness over Sanders. She feels that he cruelled her chances of becoming president. She'll back Biden, and you will see Barack Obama come out and back Biden, his former vice president.